Defendant, are you waiving presence in the courtroom and proceed by Zoom?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. We are here on the mental health treatment matter of the defendant pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 2945.38B1C. The written report of the evaluations from two treating psychiatrists were forwarded to the court and counsel. On behalf of the state and the defense, are you stipulating to the reports as presented?
Yes, Judge, on behalf of the state, we would stipulate.
On behalf of the defense, we also stipulate.
Okay. All right. Dr. Dantonetti, I do have some questions for you regarding your report. If you could please raise your right hand, I'm going to swear you in. Do you swear that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as you shall answer unto God?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I understand that the first report was prepared. Dr. Hendrickson saw the defendant on the 13th and 14th of March and completed a capacity assessment regarding request for forced medication. And on March 18th, you and Dr. Sabajo, is that correct?
That's right.
Created a second report on the 18th after also reviewing the defendant's status. The first question that I have for you is when the defendant first came to your facility, was he compliant with medications?
When we first came here in October, Dr. Foreman was the treating psychiatrist for him. After some persuasion, he took the medications, but not long enough for the medications to show any effect. He was tried on two different medications at two different times.
I'm sorry, he was what?
He took medications on two different occasions, but not more than a few days at each time.
Did there come a point where he refused the medications? Or
He refused the medications.
all right. And at what do you have a time frame of when he had started to refuse to take the medications?
Within a week of starting the medication, he complained of not feeling good on the medication, so he stopped taking them.
Do you know approximately when that was?
He came here in October. This was initially in October, the first medication, and the second one was in the beginning of November.
Okay. So the beginning of November, it's my understanding just from what you stated that he was taking the medications, but not in the frequency or the required time period for them to take effect.
That's right.
And then he stopped, refused the medications.
That's right.
Okay. What efforts have you made to gain compliance from the defendant?
So, I came on the team. I started taking care of Mr. Hardy in January. At that time, I was not his attending physician.
At that time, what?
I was not the treating physician at that time. I have been taking care of him since January, like for the last 2 months. But from what I see from the records, Dr. Foreman, who was the treating psychiatrist at that time, he explained the benefits of taking the medication.
To the defendant?
I'm sorry?
He explained that to the defendant?
Yes.
Okay.
But he was not in agreement with taking the medications again. And since I came 2 months ago, I have been explaining to him about his symptoms and what the medications can help him with. But he's reluctant to consider taking the medications.
Okay. And what impediments, if any other, have you encountered in attempting to get compliance with the defendant to administer the medications?
So, Mr. Hardy suffers from the paranoid delusions, and he believes that his food is being poisoned sometimes, and he
His
talks
what is being poisoned?
food.
Food?
Yeah, he talks about sometimes his food tasting like medication and smelling like medicine. So he has general paranoid delusions about the staff here and medications and everything else.
So his condition is prompting him to believe that the medications are essentially being given to him otherwise, and he's refusing to take them based upon his own diagnosis?
That's right.
Okay. And do you believe, based upon your review, that involuntary administration of these drugs is medically appropriate for his condition?
I do believe.
And if he were to be forced to take these medications, do you believe that it would be substantially likely to render him competent to then stand trial, so essentially being restored to competency?
I do believe.
Now, the medication, as all medications, may have some side effects. The specific side effects related to the medication in question that you seek to force the defendant to take, what types of side effects are they?
Sometimes with the antipsychotics, we can see what we call as the extrapyramidal side effects.
I'm sorry,
like
can you start again?
With the kind of medications we might have in the antipsychotics, we sometimes see side effects, what we call as the extrapyramidal side effects, which can be tremors or some involuntary movements.
Sorry, can you go a little bit slower for our court reporter? The side effects can be known as what kind of side effects?
We call them extrapyramidal side effects.
Extra what?
Pyramidal, Pyramidal.
Okay.
That can include tremors and sometimes involuntary movements.
Involuntary
But these
movements?
side effects can be treated with some medications.
Okay. Would these side effects interfere significantly with his ability to assist counsel in his own defense?
They should not.
Okay. And you would report to the court if they did in any way?
I'm sorry, can you repeat
If they
that?
did in any way, you would report that to the court?
Sure, definitely.
All right. And do you find that there are any less intrusive treatments that you could pursue that would have the substantially same outcome?
At this time, I believe he needs to be on the medications.
Okay. Did the state have any further questions of the doctor?
Judge, do you mind if we have a couple?
Absolutely. Go ahead. All right. Mr. Cleary from the state of Ohio is going to ask you a few questions.
Hi, doctor, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay. Doctor, I just wanted to cover a little bit further the course of treatment through medication that the defendant has been on. You testified that, well, the defendant came into your facility on October 22nd, is that fair?
That's right.
Okay. And by October 31st, he's already refusing to take medications, is that also fair? According to your report?
I'm not exact on the dates, but it is around that time period. He has started to refuse taking medications.
Okay, and then at some point in November, the defendant is on Abilify, correct?
Can you please repeat that?
Sure. Sometime in November, the defendant is prescribed Abilify.
That's right.
Okay, and it's your testimony that his course, he would take it for a few days, and then he'd refuse to take it after that.
That's right.
Okay, and I think in one part, he blamed his libido was one of the reasons he wouldn't take medications, is that fair? If you remember.
I was not part of the team at that time in November, so I'm sorry, I'm not exactly sure if you complained of that particular side effect.
Okay. Doctor, since November, what medications have you tried with this defendant? What medications has he been on?
So since he came to the hospital, he was on 2 different medications. One was the Abilify, aripiprazole, and the second one was olanzapine, which is commonly known as Zyprexa.
Okay, and when was that?
This was in October and November.
Okay. And you took over his care in January, right?
That's right.
What prescription medication, antipsychotic medication, have you prescribed him that he has taken since January under your care?
He has refused to take the medications from the beginning itself since I took care of him. So I have not prescribed any medications for him.
Okay. And doctor, you're aware of his history, right? That he was treated in January with an injectable medication, correct?
That's right.
January of 2024.
That's right.
Okay. And shortly thereafter, he became competent in that case, correct?
That's right.
Doctor, what's taken so long to ask to have these meds forced? We've
Can
now...
you please,
Doctor, what has taken the hospital so long to petition this court to force the medications on this defendant? We are 6 months into his treatment, correct?
that's right.
And we have a year to restore a defendant charged with aggravated murder, correct?
Can you please repeat that?
We have a year to restore this defendant who's charged with aggravated murder, correct?
That's right.
But yet here we are, since November, he hasn't taken any medications, correct?
That's right.
So what has taken so long for your hospital to petition this court for medications?
So since I came on board as a treating psychiatrist, I have been talking to him to encourage him to take medications. But since he has been refusing, so I thought this would be the route to take for him to take medications.
Okay. But you did wait, the hospital waited until today, until last week to petition the court, correct?
That's right.
Okay. And this is all because since November, this defendant has refused to take any medications.
That's right.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
On behalf of the defense?